Parents of murderers, how do you view your son-daughter now? Story 1. Okay, I'll give you a teaser. My good friend's older brother brutally take down their sister and parents. He told my friend that he had to in order to save the two brothers. The devils told him. My friend was and is one of the sweetest lads to ever exist. His brother developed schizophrenia in his late teens and heard voices telling him to do awful things. Their parents tried so hard. Brother is in a facility for life. Friend still has the same shocked facial expression that he instantly adopted after losing his entire family. He is broken. All the moms in his neighborhood took care of him growing up, but the insurance and fostering could not give him back what he most wants. Answer. Friend still has the same shocked facial expression that he instantly adopted after losing his entire family. This reminds me of veterans with PTSD. Ayahuasca seems to be a promising treatment. Maybe it could help your friend too. I'm not a doctor, and medical advice from internet strangers is not the best of sources, but since microdosing psychedelics and one heroic dose of mushrooms helped me personally tough a depression, I see those substances with different eyes. Story 2. Some kid in my town stabbed and eliminated this guy at a party a few years ago, and I now work with his mom. She doesn't acknowledge that she has a son at all and only ever talks about her daughters. Story 3. So, I'm not a parent of a murderer. I'm a child of a murderer. I'm currently 21 years old, and when I was 3, my mom was taken down by my father. Can I even call him father? More like a distant relative. And partly dismembered and hid in a trash bag for 3 days before my grandpa, his dad, called the cops. My dad acted normal in the days following. He drank beer and watched football with the neighbors. I was raised by his parents all my life and was taught growing up that he didn't take care of her properly as she had a lot of health and mental issues. So I accepted that, like I didn't know that wasn't a thing. I Googled my dad's name when I was 11 a week before Christmas. I didn't talk to him for a year. He only calls when he wants money from my grandma. I no longer have visitation rights since I turned 18, but could get it changed to let me see him. But I don't really want a TBH. My dad is a skilled artist, which is what I love to do. So I'm grateful for that and the fact he passed it down to me. He also plays music very well. I've not got a natural ability, but can kind of play the violin with some practice. I don't plan on talking to him if and when he gets out. If he even tries, I don't think he would, unless it's for money. I used to dream of opening a tattoo shop with him as a little kid. I miss being young and not knowing the truth, but I'm glad that I found out and know I can't trust him. Answer. Listen here. Your art is yours. You made yourself. All the good things about you are yours. And all your bad things too. If you end up fudge up, it absorbs this because you take after him. You are your own person. I'm saying this as someone who is the adult child of a very violent person. I don't know your life story, but I know there's a certain stigma when you're the child of someone like that. And it has a weight. It's a burden. Become a tattoo artist and work in your own shop. Don't feel bad for living. He could have had that life, but he decided to end 2 lives in one go. His own and your mom's. I'm sorry for your loss, but don't let any of your dreams perish because of him. Nothing else should have to die because of him. You are your own maker. Story 4. My aunt, who was psycho before all of it happened, became even more so when her son was convicted of takedown. The evidence was overwhelming. My mom went into it not wanting to believe, but she knew he was guilty. Not my aunt. Nothing could convince her. She died believing he was innocent. He is not. Guilty as hell. She was a cruel woman. I would not be surprised if this did not help create the monster he became. Story 5. My best friend's other best friend, I'm college, other guy is high school, eliminate a guy and is in jail. My friend is still really good friends with him, and they stay in contact as much as possible. The guy claims it was self-defense. The evidence isn't in his favor, but I think my friend is choosing to believe what he wants to believe. Answer: even self-defense can get wrong. My best friend was somewhat friends with an addict. Adult beverage, substances ranging from plant substance to meth, you name it. Ruined his body when he mixed steroids with substances, or so they say, and truthfully, he was kind of nuts. Whenever he'd overdrink, he became this paranoid crapper with a passion for takedown. But nobody was that aware of how bad it was. One summer, we were all tipsy at a seaside resort when his paranoid murderly rage emerged and started accusing each of us of stealing stuff and plotting against him. He broke a full bottle of adult beverage and almost digged it into one guy's stomach, but restrained himself in the last second. We all crapped our pants. Next day when he was sober, he cried forgiveness. And since we were still stuck with him for 5 days, got past it. Last year, one of our common friends was sentenced for takedown the psychotic friend, stabbing him with a knife multiple times and kicking him repeatedly on his head. He claimed it was self-defense. We all believe it. Police didn't. Psychotic friend was resilient to pain, hell of a fighter, and nuts whenever he was tipsy. Murderer was a shy guy easily. Scared who finished religious training school for priesthood. No one from the outside would believe that multiple stabbings are self-defense, but it can be. Story 6. I know a man whose older son shot dead his little brother. Accident, of course. Later on, older boy eliminate himself. He sure was not some brutal murderer. But the father dismisses he ever had sons at all. Doesn't visit either grave, doesn't talk about them. When asked about children, he straight up ignores it. It's hair-breaking, really? X200B, I know no one asked me, but thought I would share. Answer: a similar thing happened in my family. 2 of my cousins were screwing around with a BB gun at their grandparents' house, not the family side I'm related to, and the younger accidentally shot the older in the eye. The grandparents were inside, leaving them alone with a gun. Once an ambulance was called, the grandparents didn't even bother to ride with him. I, a 14-year-old at the time, drove 2.5 hours with my mom after we heard and still managed to get there before the grandparents. The boy's mother, my aunt, told my and my mom that we were to act as the parents, and the grandparents weren't allowed to be near him until my aunt arrived. She was out of state. My cousin lived after a few hours of surgery. His grandparents left, but I insisted I would miss school and stay with my cousin because I am an only child and he is the closest I have to a brother. His brother was broken for about a year. But now the older one's eyes is healed and everything is back to normal, except those grandparents rarely see my cousins and never without my aunt there. The hurt cousin is about a year younger than me. His brother is about 3 years younger than me. And I don't think I would be alive today if my cousin hadn't survived. Their grandparents on that side are dead to me. Story 7. Obligatory not apparent and not take down. One day the FBI and Homeland Security show up at 6 a.m. to raid our house. They take my parents away to ask them questions and put my brother in a police car. I was left alone, BC. I was away at college when the crimes occurred. Find out our internet was being monitored for the past year, and my brother had hard drives full of child adult content and dog-related adult content. His age range was 13-15-year-old girls, but the public attorney said there were also videos of babies being intimacy assaulted. He also beat and intimacy abused our beloved family. Dog and took videos of it on several occasions. My brother was older by 3 years, so I had known him my whole life, and I had no trouble letting him go. I was mortified by what he did. I did suffer PTSD after, and had horribly graphic nightmares about him chasing me down and beating me. My parents still love him and visit him almost every weekend. He will be in prison for 20 years. They will be in their 70s when he gets out. I think they blame it on mental illness. They buy him nice meals and load his commissary up constantly. I only go visit because I don't want to upset them as they've been through enough. Edit. The child-adult content wasn't made by him, only the videos including our dog. Doesn't change much, but provides clarification. Answer. The fact that videos like that exist, and people like that exist, heavily furthers my agnostic atheism. And I've already been an agnostic atheist for a year thanks to other factors. In my view, either there is no God, he doesn't care, or he is malevolent. People like that deserve life in prison or the passing penalty. No exceptions. They cannot be trusted anywhere else. Story 8. Not a parent, but a boy from my high school was violation by an older man when he was like around 6th grade. He didn't tell anyone. This all came out in the court case. He found out when he was like 17 that the same old man also violation his little brother. It was like a small neighborhood. The old man wasn't a stranger. Anyways, once he found out, he beat the old man to passing with a hammer. People's opinions of him are mixed, but no one really thinks poorly of him. Opinions range from, darn, I'd do the same thing, to I wish he could have got therapy or something along those lines. I think what makes it hard for people is that it was done with a hammer. No one thinks, geez, what a psycho, but the violence is not lost on anyone. Story 9. I'm casual friends with someone in my neighborhood that eliminate a guy in his teens. It was in self-defense, at least he told me so, but I think they both were into illegal activities, either substances and/or stealing. So the guy spent several years in juvie. It really messed him up, and he already came from a bad background. His brother was in an outlaw biker gang and was takedown, for instance. So this guy now is a meth addict with a myriad of health problems. Honestly, all of my interactions with him have been fine. I think if he just came from a stable family, he would have turned out way different. Story 10. I once shared a cab with Dylan Klebold's mom, Sue, Columbine killers. We were heading to a Survivors of Tragic in Education seminar. It's weird. We talked a bit, and I kept having to remind myself that her son murdered so many people, then committed tragic end. She wrote an interesting book about being his mom. Story 11. Not the parent. A uncle stabbed his sister to passing. Her poor sons tried to intervene and had their mom die in their arms. He was put in life in a mental facility as he was spouting demons invaded her body, and he was doing Lord's work or whatever. Mom kinda said he was off, never met him. Their mother, Grandma's sister, is in denial and doesn't really talk about his eliminate his sister. Some people don't agree she talks with him, visits him, and concerned of her son's well-being at the facility, but like if she cut him off, she would lose 2 children. Most family aren't close to them, so he could very well be really mentally sick and not faking it to avoid jail that the family rumor mill likes to spew. I can't really blame her. It's all very reality-shattering. Story 12. Not a parent. My uncle by marriage is a jovial, pleasant man. My aunt is a good woman. Years, I mean decades later, I found out he had been in prison prior to their marriage. He had money, but not a clearly discernible source, so expected it to be related. Nope, was intoxicated. Some guy of a different race said something and he laid into him hard. The beaten man nearly died. Don't know he didn't. So uncle went up for attempted takedown. Hard to believe. He's always been a nice old man. Still is. Answer. A few years ago, this quiet and lovable young man got tired of being relentlessly picked on by this guy everybody knew as that fudge bully. They got into a fist fight, and the nice kid swings one in the guy's face, eliminate him on the spot with a single punch. The kid got a really soft sentence and got jailed for about 3 months. His life is now completely fudge. He's been so deeply traumatized by this incident that he just can't leave his house. Even the sweetest persons have their limit, I guess, and it's probably because of their kindness that some can't cope with the trauma. Ironic. Story 13. I worked in forensic care for a bit. People have committed a crime, but there is a background of mental illness. The relationship before the crime seems to be the most important factor, more than the details or nature of the crime itself. A lot of our patients were already estranged from their parents. History of abuse or neglect on a background of poverty, substance use, etc. For the patients who had good relationships with their parents, that relationship didn't seem to change. The parents would visit, bring them things, become involved in their care, advocate for them, offer support. Considering some of the crimes, I'd say they're the definition of unconditional love. Story 14. Not a father, but my brother hears voices that told him to eliminate. I have no idea where he is. I know he's up in a prison somewhere for doing something I'm pretty sure he eliminates someone. But yeah, me personally, I just distance myself from him mentally. I pretend he doesn't exist, and that I've never heard of him. Tell yourself these comforting lies enough, and you start to believe them. Story 15. My son seemed perfectly normal throughout childhood. He went and played soccer with the other kids, joined the swim team during the summers, and had good grades. But then something changed when he joined this site during college. I agree with his quest and helped him in eliminating the people who don't use serious tags when needed. Story 16. I eliminate literally millions of potential people every day. They all get sent to the great tissue in the sky to join their brothers and sisters. Story 17. My son catfished a girl and then accidentally threw her off a cliff. She didn't exactly die though, but I tried to cover it up best I could when I found out about it. Her father Fudge found out about it though, and now we're both in prison. Fudge. Story 18. From a correctional officer perspective, most of the parents don't care about little Johnny until they think they can get money from the state by using him. Story 19. I was waiting to read some elongated story about some kid, only to be tricked by mankind being thrown off hell in a cell in this thread. Alas, it'll keep my guard up. Story 20. The sister of 2 murderers. My brother and sister enjoy ripping the insides out of their victims and splaying them around the crime scene. I haven't said anything, and I actually clean up after them. Sometimes my brother cuts me too, but I still love him because he's a dog, and my other dog, the sister, is adorable, so I can't get mad when they destroy the toys we get for them. Story 21. Obligatory not a parent, but my brother-in-law's sister's husband, older brother, was involved in a double homicide. Redacted, pleaded guilty in April to the 2 takedown counts and a conspiracy to commit takedown. He was 17. That was 2015. He is serving 38 years. His mom and dad are terrible people. They fight all the time over the littlest things. They've even neglected the special care of their mentally challenged 14, maybe 15-year-old. They never go and visit him. The mom knows about some extremely illegal stuff he's doing in prison and acts like it's nothing. It's messed them up so badly. But they still want to baby him. I should note that I don't contact nor make an effort to make a bond with the parents. I feel unsafe around them. So all I hear is from my sister. Story 22. Obligatory not a parent. My aunt committed a robbery, theft, and cannabis production. 1. A pub. My uncle was involved in this one. He was given around 10 years. 2. A post office with her new boyfriend, Ben. Her kids are now in SS because of her. Being honest, if she died, it'd feel slightly sad, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. She was really nice to me, but I can't forgive her for what she's done to our family. My gran, though, she still loves her. I mean, she's her daughter. She visits her with my little sister and other uncle from time to time and sends her clothes. But my mom absolutely dislikes her sister for my cousins and constantly argues with my gran about it. My mom hasn't even talked to my aunt ever since she was arrested. Story 23. Not a parent, but my brother just crushed the skull of an innocent person. To be fair, I would have done the same if I saw a spider that huge. Story 24. My son has weird hand alternative tastes and eliminate young women. I know it's bad, but he only wants a quiet life, so I'm protecting him. Story 25. It wouldn't matter if they eliminate half the planet. They are still my children, and I'll do anything for them. Because they are just more important than everything and everyone else. Story 26. I literally eliminate millions inside of my wife's female body part on the regular. Best part is when the dead bodies end up all over my chest. Oh, right, parents of. Well, they're dead, so I'm replying. Edit. I comment a lot on Reddit. Usually end up with a few upvotes. One thing Reddit does not like: telling the virgin masses that you aren't in fact a virgin and go around and fudge every once in a while. Take for example, I said simply no ragrets in this same thread and got an equal amount of upvotes. Way less funny than this actual content. The smell of the neckbeards is nauseating.